welcome everyone to episode 5 of the Unfiltered podcast. I have got my guest Simone on with me this evening, and for those that don't know me, I'm Yannah Rose and I am the owner of the CEO Digital Lab and known as AKA the CEO mentor for beauty and aesthetic business owners. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hand it straight over to you, Simone, just to introduce yourself before we start getting, digging right into all your journey, because you've got one hell of a story to share, haven't you?
Yeah, so my name's Simone and I am a hair loss specialist. I specialise in mesh integration, so it's a hair loss solution. It's kind of like extensions for women with hair loss, but it keeps their hair and their scalp nice and safe and it's not damaging. And I am an educator, so I teach stylists and hair extension specialists to do my method as well.
I love that. Yeah, because when I was going through things, so you've won multiple awards, haven't you? Like you've won multiple awards. You're also now training other people with your method that you have created. And all of that kind of stemmed back from you starting off in normal hair extensions, wasn't it? So you saw a bit of a gap in the industry. So can you kind of take us back to that? When did you actually when did you first go into hair and hair extensions?
Yeah, so I'd always loved hair and I just hobby. So I just did it myself. I used to make like little quick weave wigs on YouTube myself, and I used to like buy like hair from the market with that like smelly glue and glue this myself. Probably not, but I just loved it. And it wasn't until I got to like my early 20s and I was sort of just working in retail and working in bars and didn't really know like what I wanted to do. And I tried a few other avenues, they didn't really work. And then I kind of just thought like, I love hair, so why don't I just go into doing hair? And I would get people asking me to do their hair, even though I wasn't qualified, which I don't recommend, but it was a very long time ago. But then I would just be doing it just to sort of make some money on the side. And I thought, why don't I actually start taking it seriously and get qualified in hair extension? So I was like a little bit backwards with the way I did things. So I did hair extensions first. I really wanted to be able to like cut the hair in properly and be able to offer like colour services. So then I went to college and did night school a couple of days a week. So hairdressing that way. And then it wasn't until I moved to Bristol that I even discovered anything about hair loss. I worked in a hair loss salon, which I didn't even know was like a thing and I just thought that's different and interesting. I'll give that a go. And then that like opened my eyes to like the world of women's hair loss, because I think we don't see many women walking around with hair loss. I think we as women we like hide ourselves, don't we? And like we'll come up. So to see loads of women that were suffering with hair loss like was really opened my eyes. And then it also made me realize that there was a gap in the market for a hair loss solution that was a lot nicer to the hair. So like that's where I wanted to then like start my own business and then start helping women that way.
No, I love that. So back then, I 100% agree. You wouldn't really associate hair loss naturally with women, would you? You would normally just assume it's men receding, men going bald. You actually would just associate it with that, wouldn't you? So you explaining that, it does open your eyes that actually no, this is a thing. But like you say, women are probably likely more self-conscious about it, so they will find solutions to hide that, wouldn't they? So I know that when you first went into it, you mentioned to me previously that it wasn't the most nicest and kindest, was it, to the scalp, which is why you then went down the mesh route there, wasn't it? So what was the difference in that for those that haven't heard of these different things? Because I've got a lot of aesthetic girls on here and I know they're all going to be like, what? I've not even thought of this. So
so where I worked in a salon, the way that they do their mesh is quite dated. So they've been going 30-40 years and it's quite dated. I don't know if you're familiar with like the synthetic hair extensions where you see like round and then so basically they bring the hair through the mesh and then they wrap the synthetic extensions around and make these little bonds, which is quite tight on the head. And they also don't remove the whole thing for 6 months. They just in between. So you can imagine not having a proper wash on your hair, how bad and sensitive your scalp's going to be. So when I left that place, I retrained with somebody else and did it with the mesh integration, which is a much nicer method for the hair, and then I've like tweaked it along the way, so I've got like my own little method now.
Yeah, so I want to touch on your little method because you've got your very own method, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I think it's quite, when you are finding your own methods, it's a lot of trial and error, which people don't really fully understand, I don't think. I think they think that we just call this name with this method and go, oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to call it. But actually, it's our experience, it's all our knowledge and everything like that, all our hands-on things that's gone into it, hasn't it? So kind of take me through that. So obviously you started tweaking things along the way and just kind of explain to everyone what your method is.
Yeah, so my method is called the Flatline Finish, and I set it up because one, I wanted to make it like an easy, like step-by-step guide for my students, and also it's how I get the hairline really nice and flat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I discovered that because I was struggling when I first started with getting the hairline flat,
Yeah.
slipping back, so it was like exposing the hair at the front as well, and like sometimes it would look a bit bulky and a bit wiggy, and I'm like a perfectionist, and I'm also like, if there's a problem I want to solve it.
Yeah.
I wanted to like keep going and like experimenting and finding these different ways to get the hairline really nice and flat, and I feel like I nailed it basically. So I won't sort of say like all the ins and outs of it, but
No, of course not. Yeah, no.
ways of like sewing and placement and how you cut and set everything like that, which can make a massive difference for something looking like you've got something plunked on your head and something like really nice and natural and flat.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. And, in a way, it's a breath of fresh air, isn't it, into the industry? Because, like you say, there is very old fashioned ways, I still think, in hair, isn't there? I know, some places that you kind of go past, you could tell it's like, they do the older type of outdated treatments as such. You could tell some type of little salons, and you can see the women with the big, with the big things on their head that you remember, like going in salons when you was kids. Yeah. So, no, I love that you've, you saw your gap and you then went on to retrain. You saw that there was something, you was like, no, I'm going to go for it. You've
Yeah.
then gone through all your training, you've started tweaking things, and now you've got your own method, and now you're training others. So what is the timeline and all of that? Because you're now a six-figure earner, babe, aren't you? Like, you're smashing it. So what is your timeline for going
So,
from
what, starting from extensions and then going, so
yeah
doing extensions for about 15 years. So, and then I've been doing hair loss for 9 years. So I would say from like learning hair extensions was like a long time ago. But I would say like when I learned the mesh, it allowed me to go fully self-employed, because I used to do hair extensions and have either a part-time job or a full-time job or two part-time jobs. I
yeah
was a little bit too scared to go fully self-employed, but it wasn't until I did the mesh training, and it was about 6 months after that training, I then something happened at work, and then I thought, you know what, this is my sign to go fully self-employed, and then I haven't looked back since. So
yeah
that I got my salon like 2 years after that. I don't have my salon anymore. I had my salon for 5 years,
yeah
but that's a whole another story.
a whole other story. Do you know what? A lot of people, I mean, that I speak to, like, what it sounds like to me is that you found your niche, and then that is exactly where your passion then lied, and that is what then allow for you to expand and be as successful as what you are. Because I do think in this industry, I think it's quite normal for people when they first step into the industry, whether it's hair, beauty, aesthetics, they want to almost treat everyone. They want to almost be like an open, but like, I do everything. Come to me, come to me. When actually it is more beneficial to find something that you can really niche down to, so you become the go-to. So, and that's exactly what you've done. That is just proven that's the best way to go about it, isn't it?
100%. Yeah, I think finding what you love and like mastering it rather than trying. I think it's good, but especially when you first start out, you need to try lots of different things, because you need
Yeah.
to know what you like and what you don't like. But once you find that thing, I think it's so important to like hone in on it and really like master your craft for
Yeah.
sure.
And and I think, like you said, something happened at work, and that was like, that's my sign. And that is so common, that happened with me. Something very similar happened with me. Something happened at work, and I was like, no, that's it. I'm going full time, self-employed. It's funny how the universe, like, or things will happen, and it will make you kind of push and be like, right, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. Because you do panic, don't you, when you've got a job, when you use that security and that monthly salary coming in from that paycheck. it becomes your safety blanket, doesn't it? Like, oh yeah, but yeah, I'm doing great on my business, but what if 1 month it wasn't as
Yeah,
great? And then it is that scariness, isn't it?
very scary. Yeah, I've got a coaching student. I had a call with her this morning, and a similar thing has happened to her. So just
Mm.
redundant, and I was like, this is your sign, like this is like the universe saying you need to go all in on your hair business. So this is like as scary as it is, like it'd be like the best thing that happened to you.
Yeah, it is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I can remember I cried for like a week solid. Like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do? And then when I kind of calmed down, I was like, remember who you are. Like, you've got this. Like, you've been running your business, babe. Like, crack on. Like, you're now, you've been praying for this time
Yeah,
to work on your business rather than split it between another job. But then it was just that scariness, like that safe blanket, like being ripped under me, like, oh my God, I've got 2 kids and a home to run. And
yeah,
it's just so scary, isn't it? So over your career as being a business owner, what type of challenges have you faced as a business owner? Like, I know you mentioned that you had a salon and you've now not got that.
yeah.
Like, what was that journey? Because that's always an interesting one.
Yeah, I had like this big goal and big dream that I wanted to have this huge salon. I wanted it to be like 2 floors, and I wanted it to be like a hair loss clinic basically. I would do extensions as well, but also I wanted to have like the hair loss and have loads of different types of things for the hair loss, not just the mesh. And once I got my salon, I think it's different when it's just you and you're self-employed. You're doing the job because you love doing hair, but then
Mm.
take on a salon, you're then a salon manager. And then when you take on staff and have like chair renters, you're then managing a team.
Yeah.
It becomes much more than just doing hair and doing what you love. And I found that it was taking me away from what I loved to do
Yeah.
so much. And also like when you start a business, like nobody tells you how to do it. So I was just going in blindly, and I knew that I wanted to at some point to have like a salon manager to like help me run things and stuff like that. But I just didn't set the business up in the right way. And I think if you want to be a self-employed stylist and you want to be doing hairdressing until you retire, making yourself like the main event, that's what you need to do. But if you want to have a team and expand that way and have a salon manager, you can't be the main person that everyone wants to come.
Mm.
Make sense.
Yeah.
Then when you try and pass off clients to other to members of staff and stuff like that and try and hire, they don't want to go to anybody else. And then that's what I found quite difficult. And I was like really trying to hire the right people. I wasn't finding the right people. And I kind of got to the point where I was like, I'm doing like a full column of clients, running the salon, training a hair extension like member
Yeah.
of staff, and then I set my training academy up at the same time, and I was just like, this is so much for me. And
Yeah. Overwhelming.
yeah, so overwhelming. I actually got really poorly in 2024 from like May to September, where like I have like gut issues and stuff like that. But I was so unwell, that like
Yeah.
the most unwell I've ever been, and that really woke me up. And I just thought, I'm like killing myself, like trying to run this salon. Something's got to give, and it can't be my health. So, but it still took me like a good sort of 6 months to like 9 months to sort of finally make the decision and go like, you have to let the salon go. It was so difficult because I just felt like I was letting so many people down. And also like I wanted to have this big salon that I'd like dreamed about, but then I just thought in reality, I know that's not going to make me happy, and I'm just going to be trying to like fulfill a dream that I had, was my dream sort of 5-10 years ago, and then like, I need to like go with how I'm feeling now, like where my life is.
Do you know what? And that is just so common. Like everyone, I think that steps into this industry, it is that big, oh, I want my own salon, I want my own training academy, I want this, I want that. But actually, every salon owner that I have spoken to, back even when I was doing treatments myself, and I would mention, oh, in the future, I want this big super salon, probably a bit like what your dream was like, this huge salon. And every single person, don't do it. I was like, really? Like, no, don't do it. Honestly, do not do it, because they find it so overwhelming. And they've said, so many people have said it's taken them away from what their passion and their love is for, the actual hands-on treatments themselves. Because like you say, you're wearing so many hats, and we already wear so many hats, don't we? Even just doing, the hands-on treatments and take care of our stock, our social media, our networking, all the other stuff, client experience, make sure our clients are fine and things like that. We already wear a million hats. So then to throw it into the mix that you've then got you've now got a salon, a huge team, promises, like you say, it's a lot. And stress, I think it's not an easy industry to come into. It's not one of them places where people come in and think, oh, I'm going to earn loads of money. I'm going to sit on the beach and be making. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. Like, you are grafting, and every single person at some point has definitely sat there and gone, wow, this is too much.
Yeah. And
Too much.
style, like having a salon, it has to be your life, otherwise it doesn't work. And it was my life for so long, but
Yeah.
then life sort of changed, and then I was like, not sure if I want this to be my life anymore. So then that's what made me think, like, if I'm not going to give 100% to it, you have to give 0%.
Did you feel in that moment, when you knew that you was poorly and you was burnt out and really stressed and experiencing health issues and things like that, did you know that moment, like, right, I know that I've got to change, but was there something saying to you, but this is what you always wanted, why would you want to change it? Was there them like voice of doubt, as if like, what are you doing?
It was more so, I was just felt so guilty because I do hair loss, and because I felt women relying on me to like make them feel good, and they I just felt like I was letting them down more than anything, and it was like the guilt of letting them down that I was like really struggling with for ages. And like even like the girl that worked with me that I hired, I was like nervous to tell her because I knew that she loved working in the salon, and like we got on so well. And I was just like, I just feel like in every sort of way, like I'm just letting everybody down.
I think business guilt is just such a big thing. Like, it's such a big thing. I mean, I don't know about you, but I will have worked every hour possible all week, and then it comes to a Sunday and I think, right, I'm really tired, I'm going to try and put a film on with my partner or my kids, and then I'll sit there and I'll be like, but really I should be doing this or I should be doing that, and it eats me up to the point where I'm just like, okay, so I end up going onto the laptop, I end up doing some work or whatever it is I end up doing. But I think business guilt is so massive. But then
Yeah.
I've got friends that are like, oh no, I don't think about it when I finish work on Friday. I'm like, no, don't think about it again. I'm like, imagine, because I'm not that person. I don't know if it's that I'm a Virgo and I'm a perfectionist. I don't know what it is, but I am like a workaholic. Like, I have to be working because otherwise I start to feel guilty, like really guilty.
I definitely feel like I've got better with it because I was so poorly, and I don't ever want to let myself get back to that point. But I do, say if I've got like something coming up and I'm like feeling that I'm behind, then I get more like anxious that like I need to,
Yeah,
if I'm relaxing, then like I shouldn't be relaxing because I still haven't finished doing this. And yeah, so I definitely that as well.
yeah, that is a big definite. And I think, even the comparison, I think, even in the industry, even I've spoken to people that are in your position, six figures. They're at the top. And some people that would be just starting out, your guys are the ones that people look up to. Like, that's what I aspire to be. But I spoke to people that's like, yeah, but I still get imposter syndrome at the top. I still doubt myself. I still look at the people and think, should I be doing that? And it's like, yeah, but you're everything that everyone else is looking up to. So I think in the industry itself, I think it can just make you unwell in the sense of, yeah, we're very busy, we're very stressed, like, we start doubting ourselves and
Yeah,
like imposter syndrome and things. It's a whole minefield, isn't it?
absolutely. I think that whatever level you get to, everyone always has imposter syndrome, and everyone always thinks that they're not doing enough and they're not good enough, and like questioning themselves. So yeah, absolutely. Like I still have to give myself a little pep talk, even like coming on here, because I've only done a couple of
Yeah,
podcasts, and I was like
yeah.
dying to give myself a little pep talk.
Well, see, I love the setup that I've got because it's just like being on FaceTime. That's what I say to people.
Yeah.
Honestly, babe, it's just like being on FaceTime with someone and just, having a good old chat. Um, but no, so with all of that then, so what would you say your biggest achievements have been? So like, we've discussed your challenges, but
Yeah.
your biggest achievements, like what would you say have been like highlights for you? Like, oh my gosh, like this is the best.
I would probably say like winning an award
Yeah.
for my work. that was really up there, because when you like work so hard and you feel like you've finally been like recognized for it as well. Yeah.
Definitely. The recognition is something else, isn't it? And especially with what you do as well. Like, you are really, really like transforming lives for people, because, you know, I can only imagine how self-conscious your clients would feel. You know, I've got super long hair. It's like down past my bum. And I love my hair. So I have it, when I have it cut, I literally have the dead ends done, and that's it. It just grows and grows and grows. So I can only imagine how they feel, and when they come to you, how you then make them feel after that appointment. So it's so rewarding. Like, it's got to be so rewarding.
That's probably like, you feel that like achievement every time you do a client, especially when you have like a new client, and they like see themselves for the first time. And I've had like lots of clients like burst into tears because they just,
Yeah.
and that's like emotional. I even had, so probably say one of my achievements would be, I had my student and she did her model, and then her model burst into tears, and like we were all pretty much crying, and then
Yeah.
boyfriend came in, and then he pretty much like started crying. So that was like, that felt like such an achievement for me, because I've been able to pass the feeling that I get when I do clients with another person as well. So that was really lovely.
It's massive, isn't it? And I think no matter what, I think more so in aesthetics, it probably is, to be honest with you. There's a lot of judgment around aesthetic treatments. And I think what a lot of people don't see is actually there's people doing incredible things with aesthetics every single day. You know, Lindsay, you know, who does the cleft lips, like, she's absolutely beyond incredible. Every time one of her videos comes up, I have to watch it, I have to engage with it, because she's changing people's lives and how they feel and their confidence. And I think it's definitely overlooked too much in this industry, that actually, you know, whether it's having your hair done, or a beauty treatment, or an aesthetic treatment, or even any other cosmetic treatments as a whole, you know, I think it's an amazing thing, and it's an amazing industry to be in, and to be a part of how people's confidence changes.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. Like, I couldn't think of anything better. I think it's an incredible industry to be a part of, personally.
And what I find like quite sad with some of my clients that come in is they almost feel like ashamed that
Yeah.
they've lost, and they feel ashamed that they want to do something about it, like as if they should just like suffer with it, and they feel like as if they're being vain, getting
Yeah.
into thing, like they shouldn't spend that much money on themselves to make themselves feel better. And that's really sad, that they feel like they like can't put that in themselves to feel good.
Mm. I think it's a little bit like when people don't want to admit that they've had certain treatments done as well. Like, you know, I know a number of people are like, oh no, they don't know. Like, don't ever say that to anyone that I've had that done. And
Yeah.
I'm like, why? What is the judgment around it? Because to me, if we're looking after ourselves and how we feel about ourselves, then who's anyone else to judge? But I think it's, I don't know if it's the change in social media over the years, and the levels of expectation that people are meant to look to, or the reputation that certain things have got. I don't know what it is. Do you see anything like that in hair? Because obviously what I've been training, obviously beauty now, so it's slightly different, obviously audience wise, isn't it? So is
Yeah.
there ever been anything in the hair side of things where it's a bit like people are really judgmental, like what people do with themselves?
um I think, I don't think people are really judgmental, but I think the clients worry
Yeah.
we're going to be really judgmental. And I think that's maybe what stops them a lot of the time coming and trying something, because they worry that it's going to look fake, or look like a bad wig and stuff like that. So I don't feel like there's anyone in the street that would go up to somebody and be like, oh my god, your hair looks awful, sort of thing.
Definitely not. No, no.
Thinks that they're going to like look at them and say something negative.
Oh, bless them. No, yeah, it's. I think it's sad that people feel like that. Like, I honestly think it is really sad. So going on to a bit of social media, I mean, your social media is absolutely fantastic. Obsessed with your social media. Like, how have you found social media with business? Like, how do you find it? Do you, because a lot of people I speak to are like, oh, I hate social media, everything about it, I hate it. Like, I hate that it's like another role. I hate that you have to show up in a certain way. I just want to show my work. I don't want to dance in front of a camera. I don't want to be doing this, that, the other, because you know, it's a lot, isn't it? It's like, you
Yeah.
know, So what is your take on social media in business?
I would say I have more of like a positive take on it. I think it's the free tool that you can use to get yourself out there. Um, like it's been one of the main like sources or reasons why I've been able to be successful is because I've always just posted, and even like before it was Instagram Reels or anything like that, and it was just static posts and stuff. I just always used to just post, and get, because I think being visible is like one of the most important things. So it does become drag, like um when you're constantly recording and you're trying to figure out. Now I think now it's got a little bit more like the level of like what you've got to put out is a lot more. So
Yeah.
putting like a static before and after, or just like a little before and after video, it seems to like up the ante where you've got to have a script and all this sort of thing.
There's a lot, yeah, there's a lot more to it, isn't there? I mean, I can remember when I first very started dipping my toes in business at the age of 22. So now I'm nearly 34. So, back then it really was as simple as just putting a Facebook post out there. And that is what made us money in the business. It was that simple. And then, times kind of went on a little bit, and people then got sick and tired of just the Facebook post. So then Facebook Live came out. So then I'd be like, right, I'm going Facebook Live. And I can remember when I very first went live on Facebook, I am not joking, I was pacing up and down my house for an hour solid, because I'd already announced everyone, I'm going live, I'm going to announce this, I'm going to announce that. And I felt sick. My hands were like that. I was like, what have I done? What have I done? But then once I'd done it, I was like, oh. And on that live, I'd made a crazy amount of money. Like, I broke records on it. And to me, it's like, if you move with the times, it can be a brilliant tool if you know how to do it properly. I mean, I will never be someone that follows every single trend, because I don't feel the need to follow every single trend. I think once you know who your ideal target audience is, so in your case, you know your clients through and through, you know how to speak their language, you know how to get across what you will do for them, the transformational side of it, that once you understand that, social media becomes so easy because you know who you're speaking to.
Definitely. And I think what was the challenge for me is I know my client inside and out, but then
Exactly.
the education, I was then learning like my student. And even though like I've been the student, it's a different audience. So then
Yeah.
I'm like trying to figure out the difference between the client and then the student. But then I teach my student how to get clients, because I can then pass that on to them
Yeah.
experience. But yeah, having that change between trying to find a client and then finding a student, that was a bit of a different sort of thing.
Yeah, because you're kind of going from B to C to B to B, aren't you? And it's totally different language, isn't it? They're totally different. And I 100% appreciate that, because back when I was still doing beauty and aesthetics, I started opening up the CEO Digital Lab, and it's two totally different markets. I had my normal clients there, and then obviously the business owners. And I actually found it really difficult to, okay, do I open a separate business page for the CEO Digital Lab, or do I keep it? And it was really tough. But in the end, I kind of did what a bit like what yourself did. I was thinking, actually, I need to go where my passion is. So I just completely 360 the whole idea altogether. And I was like, no, I'm just focused on the CEO Digital Lab. That's what I want to do. It's what I'm good at. It's what I've always kind of had experience in since I first started sampling in business, when I was younger. And you do find your feet. But if I didn't ever enter in to beauty and aesthetics, I would never have gone down this path, which is always like a weird way to look at it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the same thing. Like if I literally didn't go and do that mess integration course, like I might not even be here speaking to you. Like,
Yeah, and it's true.
but like it's
It's
a domino effect on my life.
Yeah, no. And how have you found networking in the industry? Did you feel like you had a good network of support around you when you first came into the industry, or did you feel like you had to go out and find your people to network with?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I've only started networking within the last like year or two.
Yeah.
I feel like when I had my salon and when I was working self-employed, I was also like quite shy as well. Like I can show up online, but being in a social situation is different, and it's
So
quite
different. So
daunting.
different.
So I
Mm.
wouldn't sort of put myself out there and go into networking, but I've been doing it over the past couple of years. And even like, every time I go, I almost like try and persuade myself not to go. And I had one on Friday, I went to the ladies who launched the Research Humes one in London, and I was almost going, oh, I can't bother to go. Like, maybe I'll just like not bother. And then I thought, no, you have to go. Like, you paid for a ticket, go. And it was amazing. And every time I go, I always have a good time. I always meet like lovely ladies and make connections here and there. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the networking side of things now. I think if I tried to do it when I had the salon, because I was so overwhelmed all the time and so knackered, I literally would have gone there and not spoke to anyone, because I was like, got any words left in my brain.
Yeah, because you was too drained, so you didn't have the brain capacity to think, oh, now I need to go to a networking event. But a lot of people that I have spoken to recently on podcasts have said exactly the same. Oh, I've only started networking in the last year or two, because they will see they're still finding their feet, or they have so much going off. And I think networking in the industry, it feels like a really big daunting thing. Honestly, I've got really severe social anxiety, and you wouldn't believe it, because I host a podcast, I show up on social media, but if in person, I'd be like,
yeah,
like, so awkward.
it's like it's almost, you feel like you can be yourself a little more, but when you're in person, you're a bit like, oh, like.
Honestly, I can't explain it. Like, people always say to me, you're so confident. I'm like, no, I really, really am not. And even my partner, I've been with him 7 years, and he'll go, why don't you look at me in the eye when you talk to me? And I've been with him 7 years, and I'm still awkward around him at times. Like, it's just who I am. Like, it generally is who I am.
Yeah,
Hilarious. No, I love that. So, where do you see yourself going moving forward in your business? Sorry.
No, it's okay. Expand the training academy. So I'd love, I'm like looking to get some assistant teachers on the courses with me. I would really love it to be my actual students, to come onto the courses and be my assistants.
Sorry, 1 minute. Let me just mute. 1 minute.
Oh, bless her. It's nothing worse when you try and hold in a cough.
We're back. Do you know what? I was doing so well because my throat's been killing me all day, and I was like, I hope I don't have a coughing fit on the line.
First trying to hold in, sort of builds up.
Word. When you breathe, when you breathe in and it all goes like, and it's like, oh no, I'm going to choke everywhere. So sorry, Simone, start from the very beginning there. So where is it that you see things moving forward?
Yeah, so I really want to expand the training academy. And I'm going to start looking into getting some assistant teachers on the course, and I would really love it to be my students that become assistant teachers and then eventually would be able to teach as well. I think that would be a amazing progression for them.
Oh yeah, that's like a full 360 moment there as well, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
a dream.
And I've also, something that I'm looking to do later in the year, I really want to create like a hub for hair loss specialists where they can talk business and learn, because there's only so much you can learn I do like a 2-day course, and most of that is practical. And there's only so much you can learn about like the business and consultations and pricing and all that sort of thing. So I really want to create a hub for hair loss specialists.
Yeah.
You can get detailed sort of information, like business information, because I don't think there's anything out there.
No. So I'll message you after this, something, because I've got a hub where people could come in from the hair, beauty and aesthetic industry. Obviously it wouldn't be as in the type of hub that you're wanting, because yours will be completely specialised in your niche, of course. But I would love to do some more future work on that with you in that, because I think that would be brilliant to have someone of your expertise, coming on there. I've got like a little thing called like the CEO journal. I'd love to do like a piece and things like that on there. So, again, it's networking though, isn't it? It's like, like I say, I come from the beauty and aesthetic side of things. So with hair, my knowledge is very slim when it comes to hair, but it's about networking, isn't it? And opening your eyes, as they say, to look at other ways of working and other different treatments and things, because there's so many treatments out there and so many specialists doing different things as well. It's no person is the same, and I say that because we've got always a saturated industry. You can say that, but when someone's got a niche, it's totally different.
And like the experience you get is different, and yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So You know when, sorry, you know when you first came into the industry, just kind of like pushing back, you know, a little bit. How did you find the support after you trained? Did you feel like you was well supported after training or not?
So we had like a still in it now actually, like a massive group chat. But because I was like very shy, I was almost too shy to put a problem in because I was
Right.
about people judging me or maybe thinking like, oh, what she's doing, she doesn't even know what she's doing, sort of thing. So I feel like and also I feel like I've been very like a hyper independent person for a lot of my life. So like I would always try to figure it out myself before I would ask for help. Whereas like as I'm older, I realise that's stupid. We all need help. You all need to ask for help. Um, so I would just try and figure things out for myself a lot of the time. I do feel like if I reached out in the group chat, then people would help me. But that was the only way of like having the support, was just having that group chat.
And you know what? I think that's really common because I'm probably someone that wouldn't want to really shout about a problem. Maybe I think I'd be a bit like, "Oh, is that a silly question? Is that should I be asking that?" Because you do have very different characters, don't you? When you're in groups and things like that, you've got the ones that are like, "Yeah, no, I've had a crap day. This happened. This happened. Oh, I think I've messed up here." And you read that post, I think, God, I wish I could just be a bit more like you. Like, oh, it's not that difficult, is it? Just being honest and helping each other. So I love that you've got that because a lot of people that I speak with as well, their support, it was non-existent. I mean, I know when I did my training, I had no support. I had to figure it all out on my own.
I get lots of people messaging me that have trained in mesh. And that's why I do like a confidence day, because they've had mesh training and then they've basically had no support after,
Yeah.
struggled with the technique, and then because they have struggled with it, and also because it's hair loss, they're so worried about doing it on the person and then messing
Of
up. So I hear that so much. Like I spoke to a lady recently and she said she did training, and then a lady, the late trainer, just moved to America and then didn't speak to her after that. And
Oh
like,
no. But I think it is unfortunately one of the dark sides of the industry. I do think it is something that we are seeing a lot more of, where people will advertise training when they're either not experienced enough themselves or they're doing it for the wrong reasons. Like with you were doing it to teach your method. You know,
yeah,
you was like, right, I've nailed this. This is what I need to be teaching other people so they can transform the lives of other women with hair loss. So that is that when you look at that, you like the picture perfect reason. Okay, that's why we do what we do. But there is then this dark side of people wanting to make a quick, whether they do it for a couple hundred to, a couple of £1,000, whatever it is. But they are in it for the wrong reasons. And it's making people, I don't feel that have trained and not done anything with it because they've got no confidence whatsoever. They're too scared to do anything with it.
that's it. Yeah, and it's like they sort of undercut the cost, and then they get more people in because they're charging a lot less, but then they're not giving, like the technique isn't there, and then the support isn't there as well. So yeah, I've designed my training because I really like take it very seriously, and like I don't want to put hair loss specialists out there that are going to ruin people's hair. Like I want them to like really understand that it's like a serious thing, and to like look after the lady's hair, and like scalp care is like very important.
Yeah, no, of course it is. And you like to say that's the right way to do it. You want to go into a training academy and know that you're going to have that support and that you're in it for the right reasons. And I always say to people, do your research, because I thought I'd done my research and it turns out I hadn't. I met my best friend doing my training course at the same time. She's now turned into one of my best friends, and we say all the time, gosh, we actually walked out of there with certificates saying that we was qualified to do things that we definitely shouldn't have been qualified to do.
Yeah,
I was too scared to go near someone for 3 months after. I had to, you know, get a little bit more experience behind me, because you can't play Russian roulette with, no
yeah,
matter what treatment you're doing, whether it's hair, beauty, aesthetics, whatever it is. That's someone's body. Like, and
yeah,
it blows my mind that people don't care enough to have that responsibility. And it's a bit like, oh, I was terrified. I was an absolute wimp. People were
yeah.
like, get a grip now. It's been months. I'm like, no, I still don't want to do it.
No, I completely get that. Like, and that's why I have a live model. So we get the students to bring their model, apply them, have a live model on the second day after they've done it on their doll's head for the first day. Because my theory is, like, with aesthetics and with, like, say, like semi-permanent makeup, they're not just doing it on a mannequin head. You have to do it on a person.
Yeah.
So hair loss, something so serious, that should also be done on a person whilst you're like looking over you as well. So I actually learned on a doll's head.
Yeah.
My course was like a 1 day course on a doll's head.
Yeah.
But I just was like relentless. I would like practice. And I would say I'm also quite brave, where I kind of just get to a point where I'm like, just got to do it then. You just got to get a client in and go for it, because that's the only way you're going to learn. So then
yeah, and I think it can get to a point where you start really overthinking it more and more, and until you do it. I mean, one of my best friends, she was my first person that I end up doing lip filler on, and she came to my house, and I was like, "Hi," and she went, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I'm a bit scared." She went, "Don't say that to me. Don't say that to me." And I was like, "Yep, no, it's fine. I know what I'm doing." But even she was like, "What are you doing? You're actually scaring the life out of me." Because I was panicking. I was sweating. I was taking my top off, everything. But I knew what I was doing.
yeah,
But I'd worked myself up that much over the course of, the months after, that you just need to throw yourself in and just do it, girl. Like, just do it. You know what you're doing. You know how to be safe. And that's the main thing, isn't it? As long as you know how to be safe and to make sure that your client's going to be okay, then you're good to go.
that's it. Like, I always say, like, progress over perfection.
Always.
Time, like, if we keep trying to just be perfect, which doesn't exist, you can't be perfect anything, then it just holds you back, and you just never end up moving forward, because you're always like trying to like nitpick this and that. And you have to make mistakes to learn, and that's literally
100%. Well, and unfortunately, we're in an industry where you do have to. It's a bit like driving. You don't learn to fully drive until you're actually driving. You have your 1 hour lessons a week, and it's not enough.
yeah,
It's not enough. It's not until you actually start driving that you really gain your confidence on the roads and things like that. And in beauty, hair, and aesthetics, it's exactly the same. You can't learn until you're hands on, can you? So,
absolutely.
crazy. Well, Simone, you've been absolutely incredible, and I do apologise for
Not
the
your fault. I think
crazy technical difficulties we was having at the beginning, because I was like, "Oh my gosh, what's happening here?" Like, never happened before.
even like comment, and I was like, oh, I think it's definitely my laptop. I had technical difficulties this morning when I had my coaching call with Zoom. Just decided didn't want to work.
Oh,
So,
it's always at the worst times as well, isn't it? Like, always at the worst times.
yeah.
It really is. So before I do let you go, I always ask people, if you was to give a piece of advice to someone that wants to come into the hair industry, what would be the best piece of advice that you would give them?
Oh, okay. If I was going to give advice to somebody, what would I say? I would probably say that it's so important to be yourself and attract clients like you, rather than trying to be this like professional person that might not necessarily be like your personality. Because in the hair industry, you give a lot, and I think if you feel like you can't be yourself, it's going to drain the life out of you and sort of just drain your passion. So I think like being yourself is like your superpower, because other people will see you and they'll like relate to you, or they'll find you funny, or they just like your energy and spending time with you. And I think then you'll have like a clientele which you absolutely love, and then it just makes like work so much more enjoyable.
I love that you said that, because it really is. I think sometimes you feel like you've got to come across like really professional and have it all together, when actually it's not the reality of it. And your clients actually relate more to you just being who you are. Like you said, it's your superpower. No one else is you. That's your uniqueness, and so run with it. So I absolutely love that you said that. And also very quickly as well, where can people find you? What is your handle over on TikTok and over on Instagram as well, for those that want to follow you?
So it's Hair Finesse Academy on both TikTok and Instagram.
Amazing. Right then, babe. Well, thank you so much for coming on. You've been absolutely incredible. Praying that this saves, like, because obviously I've not done it on this platform before. Praying it saves so I can edit it all together. But no, you've been absolutely fantastic. If it doesn't save, we'll have to do it again. We'll second part two. Yeah, but no, thank you so much. You've been fantastic. All right, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening.
You, bye bye.
Bye, babes. Bye.